All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, clap. Yeah, that actually wasn't that bad. Welcome to the Utter Nonsense Podcast. My name is Matthew, and if you are watching the screen, you may have noticed that Max is not here again. Listeners, you are finding out for the first time. Max is currently living amongst the alpacas in the Appalachian Mountains for a TikTok documentary. It's really fascinating shit. So I'm not joined by Max today, my usual co-host. Instead, I am joined by a lovely human being. He is I see I'm already fucking it up. I knew I was going to. He is a registered dietitian in the intensive care unit at a hospital, right?
You were very close. I
Shit.
am a clinical registered dietitian in the neuro intensive care unit at an unspecified hospital.
I told you I was going to fuck that up. He's also my former college roommate and one of my dear best friends, Benjamin Tillisch. Thank you for joining us, Ben.
Hello, Matthew. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, Ben. How are you?
I'm good. It's nice to see your face.
I know, I missed you.
I know.
You're supposed to say I missed you too, but that's fine.
Oh.
So, Ben, I kind of texted you in advance on this. I don't really have a full format on this episode. Part of me thought about talking about the science of dietitians and your expertise, but I feel like you would rather talk about our war stories of being drunk in college.
Well, you did kind of freeball this episode. Got a text yesterday asking if I could do a favor, and I thought it was either you were coming into town and I was going to have to drive your ass somewhere from the airport, or doing exactly what we're doing now, and I'm not disappointed.
Well, the third option was I just needed some nudes. I was going to post your nudes and try to start an OnlyFans that I didn't actually have to post on.
I mean, if you want the moneymakers, I got you covered. Actually, it's funny you say that. I took a tasteful nude the other day and I sent it to a handful of my friends, and I realized that being an adult is sharing your nudes with your friends and getting constructive feedback.
Interesting. Now, was this tasteful nude full genitalia, or was it like a butt shot? Was it like, covered genitalia posing?
So I feel like this is some good advice for your listeners. I'm assuming
most of them are sex workers.
Oh, well, then I will take some advice. Thank you. I realized a couple of years ago that there is just a real lack of training and a real lack of education in taking tasteful nudes. And so I was just assuming your listeners are in their lower to mid 20s, probably all dudes. And I'm assuming all of the nudes they send are nothing but some at the chest POV. And if there's one stance I'm going to take in 2021, it is that our generation needs to start carrying its weight and sending tasteful nudes. So rule number one, I will just say that never, unless you've built up to this point, never go full junk. You have to leave a bit to the imagination. So either just do like a side view, maybe let a ball peek through if you have those. But if you're trying to impress a lady or a man or whoever you are, if you want to impress your friend, I don't recommend going full leg up on the table from back between the legs shot.
Right. You don't recommend split legs, bent over, self-timer?
I mean, I'm not going to say I've never sent one, but I'm going to say you really have to know the relationship and work up to that point. It's not a first date nude.
Okay, it's more like a second date.
If
once you get to know somebody, share them a picture of a butthole.
You know what? Whole pics are a different category there, Matthew. And see my TED Talk for advice on that.
There's a Key and Peele skit where they're like in an office cubicle and Keegan-Michael Key is playing like an eccentric gay guy next to him. And he goes and like shows him a photo. He's like, "You like this photo? You like what you see?" He's like, "What is that?" And he goes, "That's a close-up of my butthole." It's just...
It's like, I just thought you had really chapped lips there.
Yeah. Since we already started talking about nudes, I can see the direction of this episode.
Well, I
Um,
mean, I'm always available to, die on a hill for something nutrition related, or just to die on a hill. But
I thought that's where the sentence was ending.
hey,
Um,
you know what? Some people picked a Capitol Hill to die on this year. Oh my goodness!
hey,
Hey,
oh,
too
they're
soon?
well, they're all idiots, so I don't know.
Well, I feel bad that four people died. So I feel like I shouldn't say that. You can cut that
Yeah,
out if you want, but
that's up to you, buddy. Um,
I don't think I'll get canceled yet.
I don't know. I think you'll get canceled for something a lot funnier.
You know what? When my aspirations to become, president of the United States come up, I can always say that someone has been not canceled for doing something worse. So really setting the bar low for me.
uh, well, we're having you on today because we've known each other what, almost 9 years now.
Since 2012, since September 2012, there, Matthew. But who's counting?
So 8.5. You are. Um, I just rounded up. But so we've known each other. Wow, we're so old. We've known each other 8.5 years. We lived together for 2 years,
Hmm.
and I feel like when I go through my funniest drunk stories or stories in general, 7 of them involve you. Like out of the
That's a
top
fair
8.
assessment.
Like
What
it's
are what are what are some of the topic? What are some of the highlights? Because I can assure you, I probably don't remember them.
well, I'm going to start with a sober one first, because this one always kills me. Um, we lived in an apartment complex together, and I don't remember the context of setting it up, but you and me thought we both had the day off work, and we thought we'd have fun going and getting drunk in the jacuzzi. Um, do you remember this? I think you already know where I'm going.
Uh huh.
And we packed up our cooler PBRs and walked over there, and there were a bunch of teenagers in the jacuzzi. And I don't. Do you remember the exact line? I don't want to butcher it. If I
Well, so I just remember like it was towards like the end of us living together, and it was
oh,
just like a slow day, and we're like, we just need to go get drunk by the pool, and
hmm
so like we, contrary to popular belief, we were not fashion icons. Um,
I
we were also not known for our
thousand
physique.
percent agree with fashion icon statements.
Oh, good lord.
Do you know who this is?
No, but for those listening at home, Matt's wearing a shirt with what I can only presume is a taxidermied cat on it.
No, this is comedian Nicole Byer. She is a very funny comedian, and she decided to make her merch be a drunk photo someone took of her, like screaming into a phone. And I love this shirt very much. It makes me laugh every time I look at it.
They did not disappoint.
Thank you. I was prepared. I wore it specifically for you.
I'm sure you're wearing that shirt on the day I'm in mention right now. So yeah, we were going to go to the pool and just get drunk. But when we first moved into this apartment, there were not many people of our age who lived there. There were probably like two or three other like apartments that had some college kids in it. But in the
Right.
time that we lived there, it had definitely grown to be one of the popular apartments for all
Right.
of like the younger college kids to live
Right.
at. Um, and I would say we were not the typical college cool jocks. And
I
so
agree to
we were just kind of
disagree.
so we moseyed over, like it wasn't even a
Cool
cooler.
jocks as we
Like
mosey
it was like
over.
it was like a cinch sack with like a few tall boys in it.
Yeah.
And we get there and it's like a bunch of like tan shirtless dudes with like
hmm
great bods, like super like hot girls in bikinis.
Yeah.
I think they're like grilling. It's like we didn't even know there was a grill there. And it was like
We lived there for
probably
two
like
years and didn't know a grill.
it was probably like 20 of them, and it was like every trope from some sort of like cool college pool party. And we just like
Right.
get to the gate and it's like, huh, we are not in that good a shape. They look much better than us. And you know what we did? Like
Turned
true
right
adults,
around.
turned right around and we ended up getting drunk at the park.
No, we didn't even get drunk at the park. We got drunk in our apartment and used our other roommate's cooler as our own personal hot tub spa bathtub. Which, if that old roommate is listening, I do apologize. Still, I still feel bad about that.
I did buy him a new cooler.
Yeah, you were nice.
So yeah, as popular college kids, instead of just partying with the kids at the pool, we went and had ourselves a good old foot
Good
soak.
foot bath next to each other on the couch. I think about that a lot because I'm like, we went to Johnson and Wales University in Colorado, and like that school by no means breeds the average popular kid, you know? Like I feel like so many of the kids that were popular at Johnson and Wales were the kids that were so awkward and not popular in high school, you know?
We got all of the what you would call big fish, little pond.
Yes, exactly.
We had one fraternity and one sorority,
Oh,
and so Greek week was really just
well, the
it
sorority
was
was based.
like a bar mitzvah, I guess.
Yeah, the sorority was just a charitable service, and the fraternity, it was literally a different fraternity each year that some kid was like, "We're gonna start this up," and then like 7 kids would join and they would do nothing. I
Turns out
felt
it's just a couple of guys masturbating in a hot tub.
I'm trying to think of a pun off Greek term names. Alpha master beta.
Uh, oh,
Thank you.
not bad.
I've been
Okay.
practicing my improv. Um, so I felt like we were like the cool kids that didn't want to be popular. That's how I felt we were. Do you know what I mean? I felt like all of us had a lot of people that wanted to hang out around us. Like our group was cool.
I think we're what you would call non-invasive or non-intimidating cool, where
Hmm.
we think we're cool, and I think because we think we're cool, that tends to attract a few other people, and then they slowly realize after a couple of months, like, okay,
Hmm.
not so
Yeah, they
cool,
start
and then they
distancing
drift apart.
themselves.
And then we're
Speak,
like, huh, yeah, good thing we lost that extra weight.
Speaking of
Go have a
non-intimidating,
celebratory foot bath.
then do our weekly foot bath. Um, Speaking of non-intimidating, can we talk about your Sons of Anarchy phase?
Oh
Because that
God.
wasn't on my head, but when you said non-intimidating, I pictured you in a leather jacket with wanting to buy a motorcycle.
So for those of you who remember the popular male soap opera, Sons of Anarchy, I started watching the show during my sophomore, junior year of college.
Hmm.
Right about the time I became friends with this other girl um, who also had an affinity for popular male soap opera dramas. And so we started watching it. And first it was like, damn, this shit's cool. And then like progressively my personality began to change,
Hmm.
and I started evolving more and more into what I would like to call I don't even know what to call it. We're just gonna call it a leather daddy. Um
I didn't think that's
and
what you were gonna say.
me either, but here we are. And so I started adopting all like the characteristics of the guys in the shows. I started getting like more inexplicably like aggressive and more like
Hmm.
gonna steal my park. Actually, there was a guy who had a broken down moped and he was taking up a parking spot
Yep,
in the apartment complex. It never moved.
not once.
It never worked. And so finally one day I took it and I just rolled it down a hill. And I was like, yeah, what was Jack or Jack, not Dax Shepard, Jax,
Um,
whatever Jax, whatever the
yeah,
main guy from Sons of
right.
Anarchy. It's been a long time. I was like, what would Jax do? And I rolled it down a hill into this little like water drainage area.
Yeah,
And then I started wearing more leather jackets,
a lot of leather
and
jackets.
my friend and I came up with our own biker gang. We're called the Grapes of Wrath.
If there's one thing motorcycle gangs lack, it's puns
That's true, and grapes.
and grapes.
Yeah.
They don't get enough
And
nutrition.
then you know what? And this is why I became a
And
dietitian.
I was watching Sons of Anarchy, like they need healthier diet options.
You know what? I had to write a cover letter for my internship,
Hmm.
and you best believe it was a complete summary of Sons of Anarchy.
Do you remember? This is a fun story with Sally. we celebrated Sally's birthday by opening a bottle of Patron without her and taking shots to celebrate her birthday.
It was her birthday, so we just drank without her.
Yeah, we just got drunk. We drank a lot together. I don't know, for those listening, how many people did this, at least in their young 20s. We were obsessed with collecting liquor bottles.
I
Like,
think that's pretty common.
I feel
It's
like it
always like
is.
the sign of like a college age house where it's like you definitely save all of the empty bottles that you have, which
Right.
looking at now, I'm like, oh, that's tacky as
So
fuck.
tacky.
But it's so tacky, but definitely like I don't regret it.
No.
And when we moved out of that apartment, we had collected like enough bottles to go around like all of like our kitchen cabinets and like
Mhm.
double up like on a few.
Yeah.
We just started throwing away like repeat bottles.
Right.
Um and this is actually, if anyone is in college or if anyone is like leaving their college friends and they have something like this going, highly recommend that you take down like those bottles, but take them down like one at a time
Mhm.
and try to remember the story from like each one of the bottles. And it's a really kind of cathartic and just a nice trip down memory lane of like, these were our college years and we're never, ever, ever gonna have friends or drink again.
It literally, we ended up spending like, I feel like almost 2.5 hours throwing out
It
like 30 bottles just because.
it took a long time. We had to take the whole recycling bin, like
Yeah.
the group recycling bin for our building into the apartment, and like we damn near filled it up.
Yeah, we did. Well, we drank a lot.
I
Um,
mean, that's fair. We did. I know everyone who went to college or was 20 ever got really into beer pong at some point in their life. But I'm going to say our level of getting into beer pong bordered on a compulsive obsession.
yeah.
To the point like, so we had like our apartment. It was me, Matt, and one of our other friends who lived there.
Right.
And then we were close to the school. We had plenty of room. We
Hmm.
just kind of became the just like the meeting place. And so
Right. We were the
yeah,
spot.
we we were in the spot. So we just like always had like our friends over. And so, it started, of course, like we'd always like play beer pong, you get drunk every single night of the week.
Right.
And then just like as the time went on, we just started playing beer pong, just like not even drinking. It just kind of became just what we do. And we
Right.
ended up getting so, so, so good at it,
So
like just
good.
inadvertently great at beer pong.
Yeah.
I remember one of our other friends, I was dating him at the time. We entered the World Cup of beer pong. I
Hmm.
think at his roommate's house.
Yeah, they did a tournament there.
They did a full tournament. It was, I mean, they had a full bracket going. There were probably at least like 25 teams or so.
Yeah. I was
Fact check
with
me on that.
I was with Missy that tournament. Her and me were on a team.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And so we ended up going, and then it's like me and my boyfriend at the time, and it's like we are not the college jocks who show up to a like world tournament or World Cup of beer pong
Right.
tournament and like
Right.
do whatever. And it's like we fucking took the whole thing. And it's
Yeah,
like,
you clean sweeped.
oh yeah, like, is this the practice round?
What's
Oh,
going
we
on?
won. Oh, okay.
Dude, it was great. Like, I don't know. I have a lot of friends who were in fraternities and they played a lot of beer die, which like. I don't know if you know that game. It's a very very fratty drinking game where you just throw dice in the air. Um, and
That
I
might
don't
not
get it.
be.
I think it's dumb as hell. And they all played that. And I was like, I don't know what that is, but I'll kick your ass any day of the week in beer pong. Like, we
Mm-hmm.
played beer there, so much beer pong.
An adults game.
An adults game. We're grown men. Get your cups out.
Yeah,
We're playing beer pong.
that's
Um,
right.
wow, yeah, there are a
And
lot
I
of
think it's
nights.
when it started too, because um, no one was 21 yet. I think when we had moved in, or we were just starting to be 21, and I still had my fake ID.
Right.
So it just became, it's like I would buy, or people give me money and I would buy like booze for everyone, and then
Right.
I'd just keep the change. Sweet little
As a tip.
gig I had. And then I just became like, well, I guess we have all the beers. I guess I have to drink it
You
all.
gotta drink it. You can't waste. That's like that's something as an adult I'm so happy was only a college phase is the idea that you have to like you can't waste liquor. Like you have to drink every single thing that is. Like if somebody showed up to your apartment and left a six pack of the world's shittiest beer, you're going to drink it. You have to drink it. There's no way it's going to waste. There's alcohol in that.
Mm,
Like
oh,
I'm so glad
God.
now that I can be like, no, I don't want that.
No, no,
Thank
no.
you.
No, 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 no.
Thank you.
I
Thank
will
you.
admit, like Rolling Rock tastes like licking batteries. So I'm
Yeah.
just gonna
I never
not,
Rolling Rock was one of those ones people loved, and I was like, why? I don't get it.
because you can get a 24 pack for $15.
Yeah, if I was drinking cheap beer, it was we always did PBR, which
We were a staunch PBR household.
is that really what it stands for?
What?
Wait,
No, I
what'd
just
you
said
say?
we were a staunch PBR.
I misheard
It
you
stands for Pabst
completely.
Blue Ribbon.
I completely misheard you. I thought you said like a riddle in Latin. I don't know what I heard. No,
Novel.
PBR, in my opinion, is the best beer on the planet if you have not drinking anything else that day, and the shittiest thing you've ever tasted in your life if you had any other form of alcohol before it.
I'll accept that. I
Yeah.
definitely have like some days where it's like I'll drink a PBR and it's like I kind of like struggle through it. But then like some day, especially like if I had like super long day at work, like I'd been working at the pizza shop, and it's like super long night. No one brought any beer into work. It's like I'm walking home. It's like it's late. I'm tired. I'm hungry. It's like I'm thirsty, painfully sober, and then it's like get home and have a PBR, and it's like I have to like hold myself back from just like shotgunning it. It's
Right.
like, why does this taste good?
So
But
good.
oh my God. I'm a big Montucky fan these days.
No idea what that is.
Okay, I guess it's just like out here thing. So I think it started in like Montana. And
Cool.
it worked its way down to Colorado a couple years ago.
Okay.
And they always have it just like super cheap at the bar by my apartment. So we just started drinking that, and it just kind of became like it tastes almost exactly like PBR, but it's like
Okay.
yeah, but it's Kentucky, so
But it's the higher class.
local.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's the local stuff.
It's local.
Crap, I totally had something I was gonna say earlier and I totally forgot it.
All
What?
this talk is really making dry January just painful.
Yeah, it's cool. You got 23 more days. What's it called? Oh, that's what I was
did start on like the 4th and then drank after that.
True. So
I really started
yeah.
on Tuesday.
Yeah. Good for you.
Oh, yeah, I'm having a real wet start to the month.
Yeah, wet start. No, I was gonna say now we have all worked in the culinary industry, and it's funny because my group of friends where I live now, none of them are in the culinary industry. None of them understand what we do. It's like, they're like, yeah, I get off work at 5 and then I'll go have a drink. Like it's so I hate working. Like it's never fun. And it's like, oh, I would get to work and we would be drunk working by 7. And that sounds horrible. That sounds so horrible, but it's true. It's like the culinary industry is a party industry.
I mean, we love to drink. I mean, I almost got fired
Really?
when I worked at the jazz bar.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I mean, because no, you're absolutely right. And it's something that is so hard to relate to with people who haven't ever worked industry.
Yeah.
We're like, I don't know, it's like someone orders like shots of like Fernet or like shots of like chartreuse, or like one of those like
More
stereotypical like industry drinks,
right.
or getting like a PB&J or
right.
like something like that, and like either I don't know what it is, or they do the ever elusive like I'm just gonna have one and go home, and actually have one and go home.
Never.
Oh, it's just like it always like baffles me. I mean, like, good on ya,
Mm-hmm.
But no, I remember it was a Sunday, and we didn't normally work on Sundays.
Right.
But we were having a big like release party for like a new menu,
Right.
and they did a special event on that Sunday for it. And I was like, well, you all know Sunday's my drinking day, so I'm not gonna let
In my
a silly
contract.
thing like work stand in the way of it. So we went to brunch, and one of my friends was bartending, who I was actually working with at the other restaurant. So she
Right.
was working, and then she was going to go over to the other job. I was drinking, and then was going to go over to the other job. And she started feeding me like shots of whiskey with my mimosas.
Yeah.
And then another one of our friends showed up, and she started ordering us like shots of like chartreuse. And
Mm.
I was blacked out by
Yeah,
the
that's
time I got to work. But I was at that point where I was a confident drunk.
right. Oh, you were
And
very
so I
confident
came
drunk.
in, uh, one eye open, like,
Yeah.
I got this. And I had a question about like one of the signature cocktails that we were doing. And I go up
Yeah.
to like my boss, like the owner of the place. I'm like, so Scott, the cocktails. And he just goes, you need to get some coffee. And then like we were going through like and tasting the menu, and like I tried to eat a piece of the dessert and I spilt it all down my white shirt. And he just looked at me and goes, get it together, Ben. And they like call me up like afterward, and they're like, so we kind of have to fire you. We should fire you, but just don't do this. You can have a drink or two before work. That's fine. But just don't get blackout drunk before you come into work. And apparently, it's like I haven't worked there since 2016. I still have some friends who work there. Apparently, it still comes up in like employee training on what not to do.
You're the example.
I'm the example, but I didn't get fired.
But you didn't get fired. That's the moral of the story. You can fuck the system over.
Exactly. No, you can just get drunk, but just if you have a decent enough personality,
Yeah. If you're a charming
want to
drunk,
keep you
you're
around.
fine.
Confident drunk. Thank
It's
you.
there was the restaurant I worked at when I was living out there. They would do every once in a while. They had a partnership, like the restaurant group had a partnership with this charity out there, and they would do events where like all the top chefs of Denver and Colorado would come and cook in the restaurant. And for some reason, I still don't get how, I was the only cook in the kitchen that wanted to work those events, because it was like literally you have 10 of the best chefs in Colorado cooking with you. And my job the entire night was to go downstairs, bring up six packs. That was literally my job. So I didn't
Oh,
do
yep.
any, I literally did no cooking. I tasted all of their food. They let me drink with them, and I just had to bring them beer. That's all I had to do.
Isn't it
And
great?
there was, I think I've told you this story. There was two chefs that disappeared for a bit, and I went up to one of the top 5 chefs in Denver, and I was like, "Hey, where'd this chef and this chef go?" Who are also like top 10 chefs, and he's
Fucking
like,
in the
"Oh,
bathroom.
they went to go do coke in the bathroom. They're going to an Iron Maiden concert in 20 minutes." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "What'd you just say?" Like, oh my god,
Like,
that
and we're doing this, and then it's like
I know.
we're going to an Iron Maiden concert.
Yeah,
Like,
and
just
they
girl,
probably
pass
came
me a
out,
bump. I don't want to go to the concert.
they probably came out after the fucking fat rails of line of coke they were doing, and
That rails
did
of
100
line,
plates. I know, fat rails of line. Thank you. I do drugs.
right? Okay, Grandpa.
um, and they probably did like 100 plates, before they left, which is like,
They're moving so quick.
yeah. Good joke, funny
Yeah.
joke, very funny.
And you know what? That's a part of my life that I don't think I'm ready to give up with. I will just say at the hospital, I have to be so much sneakier about it. They really don't like when you get blackout drunk
I
and then
would
go
under
see a
Yeah.
patient.
You go see a patient. All right, what's wrong with you? Let's check your hearts, your charts, your hearts, your farts.
Or just like, hey, you look pretty cute there.
How you do it?
Sure, you're talking to a picture. Yeah,
I know.
sexy picture.
Um, what was I gonna say? That's something I don't know if my body misses, but I mentally drastically miss about living out in Colorado with all of you guys. Is I just my friends aren't industry people. Like we used to, the Friday night for us was let's go to three different restaurants, eat and drink our way through them, and then go to four bars after that.
Hmm.
Like I
Well,
haven't
I guess
done
like,
that
but
in
but Friday night was always like Tuesday.
right, right, because we didn't get weekends, so we were always working. A Tuesday or Wednesday night, we would go out and be out till 4 in the morning.
Mhm. That's
I
definitely what I miss. I mean, like industry, yes. And I have like an increasing amount of friends who aren't industry
right.
anymore. But definitely having the weekends be like Monday, Tuesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday was
Hmm.
just so nice. Like, yes, you missed a lot of like normal people things on the weekend,
Right.
but like you could just roll up to any bar,
Yeah.
anytime, any restaurant. There's
Yeah.
not going to be like a bunch of people there, and you can
Hmm.
get blackout drunk in tea.
Right. Well, and that's how you make friends. That's how you make like my favorite bar to this day still, which is Williams and Graham in Denver, Colorado.
Mhm. Oh
Obs-
yeah. I know who you're talking about.
yeah, obsessed with that bar. And we went enough that we became friends with the assistant general manager there. And
Mm-hmm.
this was a place where on a Friday night, if you
It
showed
was
up at
also
eight
Matt,
o'clock,
wasn't it?
I think it was Sean.
Oh no, you're right. It was
Yeah,
Sean.
I think one of
Yep.
the bartenders might have been named Matt. Um, and this place, like if you went on a Friday night, it was a 3 hour wait easy to get in. And we became friends with this guy where we would show up and in 20 minutes we'd have a table. Like it was the best. I missed it.
That was definitely like we didn't have many like flexes, but that was definitely the one that like
Mhm.
we flaunted where it was
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh, 3 hour wait, and then we like wave over Sean, and then we get in right away. And not to mention the best industry special,
100%.
hands
Hands down.
down. It was
Hands
what?
down.
It was
For
six dollars, and you got a cheeseburger, which was like it's a cheeseburger that any industry person is going to appreciate. It
mhm.
was just like
Delicious.
greasy and perfect.
Delicious.
You got burger, you got French fries, you got a hams and a shot of Old Grandad,
Yep.
and it was $6.
Six
Like
bucks for a shot of whiskey, a beer, burger, and fries.
it's like get off work on Friday and then walk across the street to Williams and
Hmm.
then get that, and that was just everything you
Hmm.
needed. Oh
Well, and the
my
best part is the majority of our friend group worked in that 2-3 block radius.
god.
So we
Mm-hmm.
would go there weekly. Like it was and then it was connected
Aw.
to another great bar too, the Occidental, which
Mm-hmm. I
um
haven't been Occidental in a really long time.
really, well, I mean COVID, but
Well, I mean
really,
COVID, but even
yeah,
before that, I hadn't been in a really long time.
those nights spent there were so much fun. Some great times on that street.
Are we
I
getting
know.
nostalgic?
I'm getting thirsty. I don't drink that much anymore. If I'm being honest with you, and I'm sorry to break the news to you like this, but I just do. I if I tried to drink how we used to drink right now, I don't think I could hang.
That's fair.
It's really disappointing.
I mean, I just don't think I can handle like those quantities of beer anymore.
Hmm.
I just like really don't want to get a premature dad bod. One day, but not right now.
You're not trying. I thought
Um,
you're not trying to go full leather daddy.
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm accepting that I'm just forever gonna be like at best I'd be like a little cub, but
Don't
um
ever do that again. Never, never do that again.
wait till you see my puppy outfit.
Oh god damn it! I want to say that you're joking, but I honestly believe you have one.
I know, am I joking?
No, you're not. It's probably I probably could see it in the background.
No. Don't be ridiculous. I'd be the master.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're more of a dom type.
Thank you.
You're
I was
welcome.
I don't go on the apps very often, but every now and then I'll download Grinder, and someone was like, someone just like messaged me and they sent me just a picture of themselves, and they're like, hey, it's like I just need a top's opinion on this picture. I was like, oh my god, you think I'm a top? Thank you.
I saw a
I,
great Grinder meme on Facebook, I think, or Instagram. I don't remember what, but it was like someone messaged some guy like 5 times, like, "Hey, hey, 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 I'm rich," and then they finally respond like, "Hey."
Hey. hmm the other day, one of our friends asked, she's like, "So what's your age limit for like how old would you date?" I was like, "I don't know, like it's proportional to how much money they make." It's
Hmm.
like, what kind of question is this? It's like, would I date a 40-year-old? Yes. Do I have 150K a year minimum? Also, yes. Like, and it's a sliding scale. I don't see age, Matt. I
Well,
only see dollar signs.
is that your Grinder bio? That'd be
Absolutely. I also
fantastic.
mentioned that I bite string cheese.
That's valuable information.
I really want them to know what they're getting into.
Not to change the topic off Grinder, but how are you with shots? Can you still handle shots well?
Oh, absolutely.
I still can,
I
but like the first shot burns me harder than it used to.
um I think I take shots better now than I
Really?
ever have. I mean, I don't
Wow.
think I drink as much as I used to, or if that like I know myself well enough that I know if I start drinking, I'm not gonna
Hmm.
stop.
Yeah.
So on certain days I just like won't start,
Right.
and that's just kind of what I have to do. But
Sure.
it's on my resume. I like to do this thing where I take a really large shot of tequila and have zero emotion and then just make aggressive eye contact with whoever is dying from it. And I really want to say it's one of my top 10 good qualities.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely one of your more resounding qualities
hmm
about you.
I mean, like to quote one of our very good friends, just, at worst, chase it with a smile.
Chase it with a smile. I was gonna say the same thing. I literally, me and my girlfriend did a shot on New Year's, and it was my first shot in a while. I hadn't taken a shot probably since the last time we did a Zoom call with our friends or something. And I just like, I was like looking at her. I'm like, chase it with a smile. Chase it with a smile. Smile. Like smile. like, like,
Yeah, if you don't chase it with a smile, you get rewarded with another shot.
yeah. But
Also,
it's
if you do chase it with a smile, you get rewarded with another shot. So
yeah, it's a
everyone,
great game.
yeah.
I don't know. I used like I can still do shots if I have to. I definitely don't lean towards shots anymore. But like the first shot now burns me way harder than it used to. Like I did a shot of I did tequila, I did Milagro, right? Milagro is that tall, skinny blue bottle, isn't it?
Yeah, you're obsessed with it for a long time. You have a very artsy picture of it that was like your
Yes.
profile picture on Facebook.
Yeah, yeah. I
Never
forgot.
forget.
I think Wasim, my friend Wasim and friend of the podcast, called me out on it. That like I have like 7 photos in that pose, like where I'm like leaned up against something with my knee up.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I haven't done.
Yeah. I mean, like, if something works, stick with it.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
stopped doing it the moment he called it out. Once he pointed it out to me, I'm like, can't do that again.
I'm not gonna say
Um,
it worked, but you definitely stuck with it.
it worked. It worked. Are you kidding me? At least one person slid in my DMs. It worked. I'm kidding. No one slid in my DMs.
Don't they
Um,
slid in? It just
slid right on in.
that was better.
It
Thank you.
was, yeah. The slight Southern perv voice helped.
Yeah, it really made
Um,
me feel at home.
um, all right, Ben. I think this is a good place to wrap it up. I know you have plans tonight. Um,
I am going to a Bob Ross night, so
I actually, let me show you. Ramble to the crowd for a second.
I don't really do this part myself. Um,
What'd you say?
Damn it, I was about to say something, but you came back too soon. I just said I don't really do this part myself, which is kind of a deep cut from Wayne's World.
Okay. If you weren't gonna be honest with me, I was gonna be like, I edit the podcast anyway. I'm gonna hear this eventually.
Yeah, I was gonna say something that you would just hear later.
Right.
Um,
Me and my girlfriend did like a month or two ago some Bob Ross tutorial follows alongs.
wow, very nice.
Can
The one
you
on the left is far better.
this left?
Nope, on the left,
This
that
left?
one.
I
Yeah.
think you know which one's mine, and you're just trying to hurt me because
Well,
we both know this one's mine.
it looks great.
It,
Mount Rushmore has never looked that profound.
have you done a Bob Ross tutorial? Like, have you followed along to one yet?
Nope, this will be my first
I
time, and I am about it.
Let me give you some advice. It is 1,000 times harder than you think it is. Like
Oh,
you're
and I already think it's very hard. I know my artistic ability,
yeah,
and
it like first of all, you have to pause every 5 minutes, or not even like every 30 seconds, because he's so fast. But
it's the hair. It gives him speed.
and the speed. And
Oh,
well, sorry, did that hurt?
he didn't do drugs.
I thought he did. I thought there was a thing
I
that
don't
he
know.
did some drugs.
He was in the war, so I mean, he
That
deserves
too.
to do them if
Yeah.
he wants
He
to.
could do what he wants. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
But no, it's like I was so confident in my painting skills leading up to it. And like I started doing the sky and I was like, this looks like a 2-year-old barfed on it. I don't know what happened. I was very upset.
Turns out it was just Jenna who barked on it.
That's a weird call
She's
out for
not
her.
too. Hi, Jenna, if you're listening.
If she's listening, hi Jenna. Well, Ben, thank you for joining me on this podcast. I know it was last minute, so I'm very grateful you were able to come on and
Thank you
trade
for
some stories.
inviting me. Always happy to catch up with my good friend Matthew.
Best friend.
And I will be
Venmo
requesting you later.
Say it again, best friend.
My best friend Matthew.
Thank you.
Who I will be Venmo requesting later.
I know. Fun fact for those that don't know us, Ben, for the last 6 years, 2 or 3 times a year, will randomly request $20 on Venmo from me to pay for his Ubers.
I don't even take Ubers anymore. I just want $20.
Yeah, I honestly wasn't sure how often you were in an Uber when you asked before. I thought you just wanted $20 then too.
There was like the one time we were going back and forth and I accidentally paid you like $500. It's like, I'm gonna need that back.
Your former roommate and friend who would do it with you once Venmoed me $1,000 and started panic texting me like, my account's overdrawn, fuck, give it back.
It happened.
I was like, I don't know. This seems pretty nice.
Okay, Matthew.
All right, let me wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Utter Nonsense Podcast. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and follow. Your support means the world to us. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts. We're also on YouTube if you want to look at our pretty faces. Ben's got a pretty nice face. I got a pretty nice face. My t-shirt's got a pretty nice face. I mean, you don't want to miss this. Again, please share, comment, like, subscribe, and follow. Your support means the world to us. And Max, if you're listening to this, you're gonna come. He should come back at some point. I feel kind of alone. Like,
yeah, like blink twice if you're still alive.
I don't think he's blinking, so we'll have to find out. I know. God.
I'm the new Max.
You want to be the new Max?
I'll be the new Max.
I have a story I want to bring up that that was with involving Max and you and me, but I'm gonna
save it for the next podcast.
I'm just gonna save it to say after the air. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Utter Nonsense Podcast. Have a great day.